Welcome to ScaleUp Radio Shorts. I'm Kevin Brent.
And I'm Louise Blunt.
This podcast is brought to you by Smart 90, the proven 90-day execution system for scaling businesses. On this show, Louise and I take a step back to look at the incredible conversations we've been having on the main ScaleUp Radio podcast. We dig into the common threads, compare the different approaches our guests have taken, and extract the real actionable lessons that you can apply to your own scaling journey.
Exactly, Kevin. And today we are looking at two very different but equally fascinating recent interviews you conducted. First, we have Dr. Mudassir Ahmed, the founder and CEO of SCM Dojo, which is a rapidly growing online learning and AI platform for supply chain professionals. And second, we have Rachel Jackson, who took a completely different route to business ownership by becoming a franchisee for the Women in Business Network, or WIBN, in Birmingham.
They are brilliant contrasting examples of how to start and scale a business. Mudassir essentially built a tech startup from scratch, reverse engineering content marketing and blogging to build an audience before launching his product. Rachel, on the other hand, came from a high-level retail background and explicitly chose the franchise route because she wanted a business in a box. She wanted the brand, the website, and the peer support already in place so she could hit the ground running.
Which is such a smart move if you know your own strengths. Rachel was very honest in her interview about sitting down and writing a list of what she was good at, what she wasn't good at, and what she wanted from life. She knew she wanted to work with people and build communities, but she didn't want the headache of starting completely from zero. Buying into a franchise gave her that framework and the flexibility to also start planning her true passion project in the background, a second business called Array of Light, focused on outdoor events and neurodiversity.
Spot on. And it's fascinating because Mudassir also had a moment of profound self-awareness, but his learning curve was heavily focused on the operational and sales side of a startup. He said something that really struck me. You can outsource your HR, your accounting, your marketing, your legal, practically everything. But the one thing you cannot outsource as a founder is sales.
That is such a crucial lesson for anyone scaling a business. You cannot hand over the passion and the deep problem-solving ability that a founder brings to a sales conversation. But Mudassir didn't naturally see himself as a salesperson, did he? He's a technical, data-driven supply chain guy.
Exactly. He had that classic misconception that salespeople are just sleazy, fast talkers. But he learned that the best enterprise salespeople are actually introverts who know how to listen. It's all about understanding the client's problem, asking the right questions that lead to a problem expansion, and then guiding them toward a solution.
It completely flips the script on what people think sales is. And speaking of sales, his story about trying to close the deal with LVMH, the parent company of Louis Vuitton and Gucci, was absolutely mind-blowing.
Oh, it's the ultimate lesson in patience and persistence. He first emailed their supply chain director in May 2024. He got a meeting, submitted a proposal, and thought he had landed a massive client just 2 years into his business. And then complete silence. He was ghosted for months.
But he didn't give up, and he didn't get aggressive about it either. He just sent a simple, non-threatening Happy New Year message in January, which reopened the door. And even then, he was passed around to new bosses, had a terrible meeting with an arrogant executive who insulted his platform, and still kept following up.
72 emails. He sent 72 emails over the course of several months just to get set up as a vendor and secure a date. He finally delivered the training right before Christmas, a year and a half after that first contact. It perfectly illustrates a stat he shared. B2B enterprise sales have an average cycle of 6 months, and you need a minimum of 7 touch points to convert a lead.
It really puts things into perspective for business owners who send one proposal, follow up once, and then give up when they don't hear back. You have to stay politely persistent. And you know, Kevin, when we look at Rachel's interview, she had some incredibly hard-hitting lessons around revenue and cash flow as well, but from a completely different angle.
Yes, absolutely. With a franchise networking model, you'd assume it's just stable, recurring monthly revenue from memberships, but she highlighted a very harsh reality of working with small businesses. People overcommit financially, and sometimes they just don't pay you.
Which is a massive shock to the system when you're used to a corporate retail job where your salary just magically appears in your bank account every month. Rachel had the foresight to save up beforehand, and she made the difficult decision not to take a salary from the business for the first 12 months. She kept all the money in the business to manage cash flow and to ensure she had funds to reinvest and survive those non-payment hits.
It shows immense discipline, and discipline and structure are themes that run deeply through both of these interviews. Mudassir is running a global digital nomad team with developers in Pakistan, sales in Dubai, and support in Eastern Europe. To keep everyone aligned, he leans heavily on lean accountability and standard work, concepts he brought over from Japanese manufacturing. So
I loved that part of the interview. In our Smart 90 system, we are always preaching the value of a regular communication cadence. Mudassir does daily 9 o'clock a.m. stand-up meetings with his entire team, even if the tech guys and the marketing people don't fully understand the specifics of each other's daily tasks. It breaks down silos. He also insists on standard operating procedures, or SOPs, for every role. If a planner has specific reports to pull on a specific day, it's documented. It removes the guesswork.
Rachel relies on structure just as much, but for deeply personal reasons. In her interview, she opened up about being diagnosed with dyslexia in her 30s and having traits of ADHD too.
That was such a powerful part of the conversation. She struggled immensely in school, leaving without real qualifications. But when she got into the retail environment, she realized she had these incredible superpowers. She could logically process what needed to be done, she was fast, and she had exceptional emotional intelligence.
But she also recognized her bottlenecks. Reading long emails or thread chains is incredibly draining for her. Before AI, she developed coping mechanisms like delegating long documents to her team and asking them for the top 3 bullet points. Today, she's highly intentional with her time. She completely turns off notifications and only checks emails during designated, time-blocked periods so she doesn't get overwhelmed by the noise.
It's all about finding the right tools that work for your specific brain and your specific business. Rachel actually sought out a CRM system called Popcorn, which was specifically built by someone who is also dyslexic. She said she could instantly tell it was designed for a dyslexic thinker, and it was worth the investment because it didn't have all the unnecessary cluttered features that so many other CRMs have.
And contrasting that with Mudassir, his approach to technology is to push the absolute bleeding edge of what's possible because he has that technical, research-driven background. He is going all in on AI. So
Yes, he's not just using ChatGPT to write emails, he's building what he calls agentic AI into his SCM Dojo platform.
exactly. He explained that generative AI just gives you text when you prompt it, but AI agents can actually think, plan, act, and execute tasks. He's created an AI supply chain consultant called SCM Dojo Sensei, trained on his massive library of 80 plus courses and hundreds of blogs using a system called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation.
The practical application of that is staggering. He gave the example of a business needing to find a marketing agency. Instead of hiring a buyer, you literally just tell his AI agent what you need. The agent finds the agencies, writes the request for quotation, sends it out, receives the responses, analyzes them against your criteria, and presents you with the best options.
He even has his developers working on a feature where enterprise clients can just drop a raw Excel file from their ERP system into the AI, and it will run the specialized formulas to do demand forecasting and spend analytics automatically. It's a complete game changer.
It really is. But what I find so interesting is that despite Mudassir having all of this advanced AI at his fingertips, he still has to rely on the human element. He still had to wait a year and a half and send 72 emails to win the LVMH contract. The AI couldn't bypass that human relationship building and corporate bureaucracy.
So true. And similarly, Rachel is running a business that is fundamentally about face-to-face human connection. Her whole goal with her networking franchise, and especially with her new array of light outdoor events business, is pulling people away from the digital noise and screens and getting them outside to have real conversations.
It's a great balancing act. Both of these founders are incredibly driven, but their definitions of success reflect their different paths. Mudassir wants SCM Dojo to become the industry standard for supply chain, the way SAP is for ERPs or Cisco is for networking. He wants to leave a mark on his profession and eventually use his success to fund philanthropic education.
And Rachel's definition of success is a bit closer to home. She simply wants to do things that make her happy. She told me that if she just wanted money, she could go back to the corporate world and double her income, but she'd be miserable. Success for her is seeing the quiet, introverted women in her networking groups grow in confidence and successfully launching her neurodiversity awareness events to help the next generation.
Two totally different visions, but both absolutely valid and inspiring. Whether you are bootstrapping a global AI tech platform or buying into a local community franchise, the core principles of scaling remain the same. You need deep self-awareness to know your strengths and weaknesses. You need financial discipline to manage your cash flow. You need standard operating procedures to keep your team aligned. And above all, you need the resilience to keep pushing forward, whether that means chasing a client for 18 months or surviving 1 year without a salary.
Could not have said it better myself, Louise. The grit and determination from both Mudassar and Rachel are exactly what it takes to scale up successfully. If you found this discussion helpful, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to the actual interviews with Dr. Mudassar Ahmed and Rachel Jackson. The depth of knowledge they share in those full episodes is just phenomenal. You can find them by searching for ScaleUp Radio wherever you like to listen to your podcast.
And please make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future episodes or these shorts discussions. We have some incredible guests lined up for you. Also, if you want to bring some of that structure and lean accountability that we talked about today into your own business, you can find out more about our proven 90-day execution system by visiting smart90.co.uk.
Exactly. And if you'd like to stay focused and actually deliver on your plans each week, try our new AI accountability tool, Smart 90 Lite. It's free while we're testing it. Just email me, kevin@smart90.co.uk, and I'll send you a link. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you on the next episode of Scale Up Radio shortly.